Hey guys, welcome back in. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are now just 1 day away from the CDL kickoff weekend. That schedule is up. We're actually going to make our predictions in tomorrow's video, so make sure you're here for that. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's hop into today's gameplay. We haven't actually seen too much from these two teams. So we have OpTic going to battle against Toronto. I was really pretty excited actually to see that they were scrimming this squad because again, we really haven't seen that much from Toronto. Really the only time we get a chance to check them out is when they scrim OpTic, and it's been a while since we've been able to see how these two teams compare to one another. Just to go through the rundown of the scrim and how it went from start to finish, this was the first map. Obviously OpTic won this one. It was 250 to 152, and DASHY and SCUMP both had 50 bombs. So they both absolutely went off. So you'll get a little bit of a show here as we are on board with SCUMP. Also, the next thing that I'll say, well, the second map was Crossroads, and OpTic lost 229 to 250, and they were complaining about host pretty bad. So they went and they switched it up. And after that, the rest of the maps weren't really all that close. Third map was Checkmate, 250 to 144. Moscow was 250 to 120. And then Raid was 250 to 219. OpTic had a chance to win by even more than that, another 40 or 50 points. And they just lost the rotation over towards P4 towards the end of Raid. But so far in this one, OpTic does have a nice side lead. They did have those back spawns. Unfortunately, as they pushed over inside of P2, they just got team wiped and they ended up losing P2. But it's not all that great of a deal because as long as they can just continue to get team wipes like this, they're going to lock down these spawns over at P3. And this is all just bonus time, really. Envoy was able to push in, get a two-piece, and basically the last 10, 12-ish seconds, that's a pretty big swing, right? Because OpTic was about to lose that lead, and now instead of having a 5 or 6 point lead as it rotates over to P3, they would have been down by 10 or 15. And you might think, well, it's early, it's really not all that big of a deal, but it happens all the time where these teams end up losing by 5, 6, 7 points, and those small moments can end up being turning points. So right now, OpTic's doing not a great job, honestly, of watching the push through mid, and that's not something that you see very often. Normally, when teams rotate from P2 to P3, they elect to go across bridge, and exactly what you just saw right there out of Cami, and hit caution and hit vet room. I think they might have taken OpTic by surprise with that hit through mid. They were almost successful. If they were able to get 1 or 2 more kills, Toronto in that back area, they would have been able to flip that out. Unfortunately for them, it just didn't work out that way. But still, they're able to keep OpTic off this last 10, 15, 20 seconds, and things really could have gotten out of hand pretty quickly. And right there, you just saw a little bit of lag there from Form 1. I think that's major. That's a lot what they were talking about after this map. But just real quick, let me go ahead. Let's bring up the mini-map for the first time today, just because I want to make sure that we're making a point with this. So Toronto was inside of P2, and normally this play that we were talking about, teams go across bridge, and once they get control of P1, now you can really hit caution pretty hard. Once you get like on this heady, you have a really nice head glitch into OpTic spawn. You can come over here again. Once you get right here, you have a nice heady to look at either of these positions here. So it's a little bit easier to lock down the push from OpTic inside of P3 from their spawn from this direction. And I think what confused them a little bit, what confused OpTic, is that now the push from P2, Toronto had multiple people hit mid, and they almost, we saw SCUMP get a kill right in this area. Had they have gotten this kill and there was one more left, it was a 2v2. They lost the 2v2 to flip spawns, but had they gotten those last 2 kills, they would have then got these back spawns and they would have had control of P3. So just a little bit of a different look. And that's the stuff that you see when you watch different teams like this. We've been seeing a lot of Atlanta and kind of just the usuals that we upload, but seeing a different approach here. And who knows? I mean, it's not like, I'm sure they're not going to do that. I'm sure Toronto's not aiming to do that break over towards P3 every time. They could have just been in that scenario. They had to push through mid. Their right was blocked off, whatever. And they were super close. But as you're watching here, basically just a stalemate over towards P4. And we've been having a lot of that lately. Over towards P2, when Toronto had control, OpTic did a really nice job of pushing in and being able to get some of that time towards the end of P2. When it came to P3, Toronto did a nice job of pushing up, stalling 10, 15, 20 seconds or so to keep some of those points off the scoreboard from OpTic. And now over towards P4, there was a little bit of hesitation there in the middle where neither team really had control of that hard point, and OpTic got the last 15 or 20 seconds, which is how they've built up this lead to 50 points where it is today. But I like what, looks like they got flipped out. So although you can hold it from here. So originally, I did like what Toronto was doing. I like that they were holding down P5 and they were pushed up getting kills out towards mid-map, because the more kills you can get towards mid-map, the better chance you have of holding that P5 hardpoint. As that happened, I don't know if somebody snuck through or they pushed a little bit too far when the team wipe occurred, but OpTic did get those last spawns. But even now, it was 100 to 50, and there's about 20 seconds there or so that Toronto wasn't able to get time inside. They did do a nice job of getting off, getting the kills, and then going back, retreating, and getting that time in P5 again. But you can kind of see there between spawns, you can see the lag. Even like right there when SCUMP throws that nade, it's actually a little bit incredible that they were able to win this map based off of how those things seem to be going for them. Man, that is super laggy. But let's go ahead. We are in the second set of rotations here. We're battling for P1. The rotation over towards P2 is about to occur. So let's go ahead. Let's listen into OpTic team comms as they're looking to hold down the spawns for P2. Does look like they failed, though. So that doesn't look great. They did have those back P2 spawns. They spawned out. Let's see where SCUMP spawns here just real quick. Do they get those spawns? They do not. So let's go ahead. Now let's listen in. Let's hear what happens as it rotates towards P2, second set of rotations.
Rails. Rails dead.
Low rail and lights.
I spawned from one tray. Help you on hill, Brandon. Hill dead.
Wait, next week.
Back mid dead.
Let's
go. I'm hitting square quick. We can spawn him out. I'm hitting the back. The back. Still two in the back. They're all in the back.
I flank time.
Nice, one more hill. One more's by hill somewhere.
Inner.
One by hill. Nice. All in the back.
Alley, clean X said. I'm pushing through.
I'll get time.
Okay,
We'll pinch still.
Yeah, I'm holding green.
I'm in bricks. One went top crate.
I'm looking at your top crate.
Two went back. One's in small. Two went back alley. Two went back alley. One small.
Okay, it's small.
All dead.
Back alley too, right?
Yeah, alley dead. All dead. But
I love the trigger discipline and the patience right there out of SCUMP. So just in the first 10, 15 seconds, they were able to push into P2, get control of P2. Then SCUMP just pushed forward to that ADOM building. And had he taken those initial shots as they jumped up to top crate, his cover would have been blown. He probably would have ended up being traded out, and now it would have been a more contested P2 hardpoint. So just the fact that he was able to have some trigger discipline, tell his teammates where they were going, then finish and get a nice two-piece towards the end. A really nice job of just being patient and just allowing your teammates to finish some of those kills also. Let's go ahead. Let's listen back in.
I killed 10. Okay.
Yeah, two. We're running on bottom end. Nice. I'm holding front.
Top green, guys. Multiple.
One person watch the back.
Yo, cat carry, one shot.
He's floating. He's hitting through mid.
Yeah, you might want to back up. Want to back up a little bit for a second. I spawned out.
One shot front.
Both died.
He's going to go plat.
In the back, Zinni.
Plat dead.
Two in the back. Zinni, one shot on the back channel, Loki.
He just got killed by
on the back.
They're gonna spawn on the back.
On the back.
You get a trophy down from the wall?
I'm dead. Two in the back.
Deep back, pants.
Man out the back.
More close back.
Yeah, got me stairs. Too far right too.
Dead. One far right. Dead. One in the back. He's tools.
He's hitting up front. To your right there.
I'm gonna play new.
Nice, three on the van. Two more on the van.
One more clean next week.
Pick up right on fire right now.
And again, just a really fantastic job overall of there was 30 seconds left in that P3 hardpoint when they got broken, and SCUMP's able to go on a spree. Formal got a couple kills there, and essentially it went from Toronto potentially getting the last 30-35 seconds inside of P3 to them getting like the last 10 or 15, and that's just a really big margin. If you put that together 2, 3, 4 times throughout the time of a map, that's how you end up really winning these close contests. Let's go ahead. Let's listen back in.
And low square, they all spawn behind us, guys. All four.
Out of mid bands,
Top
one
green.
stop green.
I'll help you green
Yo,
dough.
he's electrical.
Help you green dough.
You got me about a mid or something?
Electrical dead.
Ever top
Yo,
green?
yo, I'm picking up for a square. They could be green.
I got time though. Top green, Kleenex. I can't get time. Top green,
I have
Kleenex.
time. I have time.
Two top green. One's cat.
Mid top green, that's true.
Rick's dead.
One
Wait,
split
on
out.
time on me. Cam on time.
I got him.
Top
Nice,
green, guys. Top green.
Two top green, last two.
Got one. Got them all? Yo,
Yeah,
behind us, one behind me.
Not all of them though, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
one's in the
playing
back,
right, I
one's in the back, guys. One's in the back still.
Back left on you. Kleenex. Yeah, I got a
Back up,
barrage.
guys. Back up.
They're
I'm
in the back.
for
I have
green.
streaks.
I'm green with you,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
green
gonna
with
kill
you.
off for Cruz.
Baby. In small, one shot.
Nice, I'm looking back.
I'm holding your bricks.
Another
Still
one there,
bricks.
another
In the
one
back.
I got
Kleenex,
streaks.
Kleenex,
I'm
Kleenex.
holding bricks.
Can someone get time?
I can get time, I
Oh,
guess.
he naded.
Good time.
You.
Back, Zinni, one shot.
I'm trying to help.
Zinni,
Rick,
one
help
shot in the
that.
back,
I'm almost
absolute.
square. I'm helping on time.
Zinni's in the back, absolute.
Help square.
I have your back left.
Square her in
Okay,
small.
Watch your small. I have your everything else.
Can I get him? Can I get him?
They're back mid.
Going break.
So good. Keep going for square. Go for square.
He's
Go,
on
go
time.
for
Zinni, half health.
Yo, square. Dance
Can I
one
streak
more.
this?
No, don't remember that. I'm square.
Okay,
Square dead. I'm absolutely.
One more
good.
by square, though. I'm holding green.
I'm waiting for you guys. On time. I'm one shot.
Back right Vance. Back right Vance.
Another
One
one,
shot.
small,
Back right
small,
Vance.
small.
One shot.
Looking small, looking small.
Kill Vance. Back left. Back
Yeah,
left. Back
fine.
left. I'm shaking this moving off this.
I have bricks.
They're spawning in the back.
Back, Zinni.
No, in lights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in
Bricks
the
weak,
back.
Kleenex.
To time.
Hill on you.
You got me.
In
In
bricks, guys.
So grab that.
You hit me small. Kleenex.
It's small, Kleenex.
The block up, one step. Block.
I have green. Green. Kleenex, half health. Top green right now.
Back me too.
Am I green cross or what's up?
Oh, I'm dead. Low rails.
Coming up,
I got one. The rails got me. He's in vent.
Invent, Kleenex, half health.
Spawn bricks.
Other guys pot him in. Low plat, guys.
One shot, Cammy, absolute.
We going green.
Absolute
Top
under
green, top
plat,
green,
Cammy.
top
You got
green.
rails, you got
Other
rails.
guys vent. Okay, yo,
Behind
top
green.
green, low plat, and one guy's top cat.
P5, 2
You can streak
bands.
this, Brandon. You can streak this.
I'll streak. Save then. Save.
I will say, as this map is coming very close, as streaks are about to come in, Toronto did a nice job there inside of P5, being able to get back in. And then on that push from P5 to P1, when OpTic was entirely set up, they did a pretty nice job of pushing out, being able to regain there. But as you look at the score overall, SCUMP 50 and 28, and DASHY dropped, I believe it was 53. Yeah, right there. So 50 and 53. There's the 53 and 30 out of DASHY. DASHY had 7,000 damage. SCUMP had 6,400 damage. Just tremendous maps out of those two. As we look at Cross, Kleenex played well. He had 5,600 damage, but when you got two guys, one dropping 7K, another one dropping 6,300, that is tough to win against. So with that, guys, if you're new around here, you enjoy this sort of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow's video will be breaking down my predictions for the day 1 and day 2 of the kickoff weekend. So make sure you're here for that. Leave a like if you don't mind, as it really helps out the channel. And with that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in tomorrow's upload.